Had a sensation of being conscious and then unconscious. I had a sensation of being conscious and then more conscious. And I'm a spine surgeon, so I kept doing little self-assessment exams, and I could still feel the weight of the water, but I felt wonderful, and I could feel my spirit separating from my body. And I was greeted by a group of people, spirits, beings. I'm not quite sure what to call them, but they were overjoyed to see me and welcome me and love me, and I had this incredible feeling of being home, and I was so permeated with this intense, absolute love of God that even when I looked back at my body, I had no intention of returning.
You wanted to stay in this place?
I did. I'm a self-confident person, and I assured them that I could stay and that would be okay. And they used that as an opportunity to then give me this laundry list of things that I still needed to do. And I was told about my oldest son's coming death, and at the time he was only 9 years old.
Evidence of the afterlife, I have the rare privilege to meet with a group of so-called near-death experiencers, people who have died and lived to tell their tale. Spinal surgeon Mary Neal spent 30 minutes clinically dead, and during her experience was given the worst news any mother could receive.
I was told about my oldest son's coming death, and at the time he was only 9 years old.
And what were you told?
I was told that he would be dying soon. I wasn't given the date and time, but it was clear that would happen.
It's a bizarre irony. In this place she describes as being surrounded by total love, she was told her son would die near his 18th birthday. When you came back to this world, did you share that prediction with anyone?
On my son's 18th birthday, I did share it with him. And he then was hit and killed by a car a year later, and on the day he was killed, he actually shared that story with his friend with whom he was skiing.
Sorry for your loss.
No.
Mary's story is extraordinary, but she's not alone. In the United States, thousands of people a year are resuscitated after cardiac arrest, meaning that millions of Americans may have connections to the afterlife. Like Kimberly Clark Sharp, a clinical social worker whose job is to care for critical patients. Kimberly was tending to a woman who had just been resuscitated after a prolonged cardiac arrest. While the patient was dead, she said she floated above the hospital to see a blue tennis shoe perched upon a high ledge. Though it sounded crazy, Kimberly went to investigate.
After some search, I went into a room and looked down, and there was a shoe on the ledge. It was on the 3rd floor on the west side of the building. Her body was on the 2nd floor on the north side of the building, so there was no way for this woman to have seen the shoe. It was impossible.
Then there's Julie Kemp, who is here with her son, Landon. A car accident that spared Julie tragically killed her husband and put Landon into a coma for 19 days. He clinically died 3 times. Upon awakening, he possessed knowledge that he could not have had.
I remember seeing a little boy and a girl who were my brother and sister from my mom's first 2 miscarriages.
And he'd never heard about those pregnancies.
He never knew about the miscarriages. It wasn't a secret, but it just wasn't anything that we felt like it was sharing with a little boy.
Julie had never told Landon about her previous pregnancies, and after he came out of his coma, she also didn't know how to tell him that his father had died in the accident. But it turns out she didn't have to.
I just asked Landon, I said, do you know where your dad's at? And he told me yes. I know where he's at. I saw him in heaven.
You already knew.
Oh yeah, that's nothing there.
You had the news. Landon, Kimberly, and Mary appear to have been given information from the other side. But after Tony Chicoria was struck by lightning while using a payphone, he was singing a slightly different tune.
It just threw me back like a rag doll from the force of it. Now I'm standing here and I suddenly see myself on the ground. And I remember saying to myself, I'm dead. Suddenly I felt like I had fallen into a river of pure positive energy. And there was only two sensations or feelings in it, and it was absolute love and absolute peace. I was ecstatic, and then it was like somebody flipped a switch, and I was back in my body, and I was pissed. But then about 2 weeks after that event, I started to have this insatiable desire to hear classical piano music.
Have you ever had a song stuck in your head that you couldn't stop humming for days? Well, Tony had classical music running through his brain from the afterlife. He felt like he needed to share the song, so he started taking piano lessons until he was able to express what he heard. And it was always the same.
Yeah,
Would you play it for us?
I can.
We bring in a keyboard so Tony can give a command performance of the soundtrack to his afterlife. Does this piece have a name?
It does. It's called the Lightning Sonata.
The Lightning Sonata. The stories that these 5 people tell all have startling similarities. Bright lights, a spirit leaving the body, and most of all, a sense of being welcomed home. They also stress that life itself is precious and to be savored. But once it does end, we go to another place, one filled with love and music. Bravo! I'm totally caught off guard by the way that you all talk about death. I just didn't think that you were going to say how positive and joyous parts of the experience were. What should we know? What can people who are afraid take away from your experience?
The struggles that we face are only painful because we don't understand the bigger picture.
To love. That's all there is.
Thank you all so much for talking with me. I really appreciate it. And boy, I hope you're all right.
Promise. Promise.
The people I've spoken with possess unshaking certainty of what they've seen. Their traumatic experiences only allowed them a brief glimpse of the great beyond, and they've had to hold on to every detail. But what if there was a way to communicate with the afterlife without dying? There are some people who offer hope that we might be able to speak with the dead. So I fly cross-country to Los Angeles, California, for a once-in-a-lifetime chance at the ultimate long-distance call. Welcome to Forever. Hollywood Forever, that is. It's where Tinseltown's A-listers go when it's time for that eternal fade to black, and where your final credit is etched in stone. I'm not ready to join this Hollywood club just yet, so what am I doing here? Well, the answer has to do with a guy named Chip Coffey, which is, I know, a great name. Over the years, through various mutual acquaintances, Chip and I have become kind of unlikely friends. Chip is a world-famous medium and psychic, and that's why I'm here. I want to see how Chip does what he does. Can people like him really talk to the afterlife? Well, tonight, he's giving an exclusive private group reading, and you and I were invited. The sun sets over Hollywood, and I make my way to the gallery on an island in the center of the cemetery. The stage is set. The moon is solemn, and we're hoping the dead are restless. The other other side on more than a few occasions. Here's some of my closest calls on Expedition Unknown.
Hey, Karen.
Yeah.
Okay, looks good. Slowly.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Wait. Fine, back it up. Back it up, back it up. Are you okay? Okay?
Josh, look out!
It's collapsing. Holy.
Am I going to jail?
Emotions just keep coming.
I was for sure going to.
Cemetery. Psychic Chip Coffee is about to perform a reading for a select group of people seeking contact with the afterlife.
Good evening, everybody. I'm so happy that you are all here with me this evening. What we're going to do tonight is talk to some dead folks. So, if you want me to come to you, now's the time to raise your hand. Stand up. Who are you going to ask me to reach out to? Because I know you're asking me to talk to a dead person.
My sister.
Okay?
She passed away January of 2017.
What's her name?
Beverly. We called her Buffy.
Okay, of course you did. She's kind of the ones that busted your chops because you were always the one that you never could follow the rules. She's funny, she's witty, she's a smart ass in a good way. She loves you intensely. Who are you? Are you like niece? Stand up, because she's gonna lay it on you too. You're brilliant and you're wonderful and you're starting to pursue your dreams, aren't you? And you're getting down to business. And after this period of saying, I don't know what I want to do. I don't know what I want to do. You were so angry when she died.
I know.
What's with that?
We miss her.
You know what she just said? Good. You should. Like, it feels like with this, she was sick, correct?
No. We had an autopsy done because she died peacefully in her sleep, and she just had an enlarged heart, and there was nothing wrong with her. So that's why it's just out of the ordinary. But
She knew.
see, this is the second. You're the second one that has said that.
She knew what was going on, so she was sick.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I still don't know if Chip is speaking to the dead, but there's no doubt that this woman and her daughter are connecting to the spirit of their loved one, even if only in memory. I came here to witness the impossible, but now I'm being asked to participate.
So I'm gonna pick on you.
Oh no. It's not necessary. I'm merely a spectator here, Chip.
I've got a question for you. There's somebody knocking on my door all of a sudden.
Okay?
Did you recently have a death?
Incredible revelation from an otherworldly source. Madam,
She's so proud of you.
then, our search takes an intense turn. This is a place that is extremely holy. Cameras are not allowed. I attempt to get rare access to witness one of the most ancient funeral rituals on Earth. Where bodies being burned, where people cross over, right before your eyes. Then, I fly to the crossroads of continents in order to earn passage to the afterlife of over 1 billion people. This is going to be the longest day of my life. Before returning to America for an encounter with pure evil.
Straight off judgment.